Right, these concentric slaves, 8mm bolts, 1, 2 and 3. And that just comes out like so. Knackered. So the replacement clutch kit I've got here is LUK, it's a repair kit, so you're getting the concentric slave, the plate and the cover. The one for this particular car, part number there, 622322634. Let's have a look, what are we getting? Super, there's our plate, and you can see on this plate how deep these rivets are compared to the worn out one. That's much better. Good. Bonus points. And we've got a cover. Fabulous. And there is the bit we need right now. This is a replacement concentric slave. Quite as you like that one. Right, we'll get that fitted in. Actually, this new one comes with the clip that I removed from at the top, so if I had lost it, we've got another one, so that's great. I'll leave that on for now to keep the crap out of there. Just before I put that on, just get yourself a bit of high temp grease, not a lot, only a very slight smear. Put too much on, it will fling around, go on your clutch and make it slip, so pointless doing the actual clutch replacement. Trust me, I was an apprentice once, I've done it. And then a good thing to do is just before you put your gearbox back in, is to make sure that your clutch plate fits these splines. Otherwise you'll be struggling. And as you see, this one does. So if you work that in and out, that's also spreading that grease up into the splines on there. Good. In with the concentric slave. One other thing I've just noticed, the new kit comes with shorter bolts. They're the bolts that I've took out, and they're the bolts that come with it. The reason being, just noticed, the body of that is a lot thicker and obviously needs a longer bolt to go through compared to that. So we'll use the new bolts. That's better. And then tighten up these small bolts here to factory spec, which is not a lot. Super job. One thing I forgot to mention is when you get these out of the box, do not press them to make sure they'll move. They will move. You can damage the internal seals if you do that. Right, give this a bit of a clean off, this flywheel. Bit of brake cleaner. Beautiful. Okay, so now the clutch has got to go on, but we've got to align it. Now I've got a universal clutch aligning tool. Basically, I've got different ends, that screws off there, and these slide on. And these ends fit up inside. I've just chosen the right one for that. That's the right size for that. That fits in the end of the crank there. And then also, I've just chosen the right one here that fits the splines on this clutch, like so. So what we have to do, make sure you follow the instructions of fitting, how this is fitting. I mean, I remember when this came off, you've got the springs on this side that fit into the hole there. It also says gearbox side. That means that this side faces the gearbox. So one in front of the other. Pop that through there. Get that in your hole there. And onto the dowels. And get your bolts. Just loosely start putting your bolts in. Just finger tight, just so it nips. Okay, might be a bit too tight actually. Back them off, quarter of a turn. Okay, so I've got movement there. If you've got like the shaft of an old gearbox, you can plop that straight in there. That'll hold it exactly solid where it wants to be. So we have got some movement. So what I generally do, I just sort of, you've got up and down movement that way, and you've got left and right movement that way. We've got to be sort of dead in the middle. A few ways of doing it. You can sort of go up, down, and then sort of centre, left, right, and centre, round about there. Different ways of doing it. Some people like to feel up inside there. You see I can move that. They like to feel that the clutch is on the end of the on the surface on the pressure plate there, and they like to make sure that that's even all the way around. We do this so when the gearbox goes back in, that input shaft is going to plop straight into that onto that clutch line. Another way, you can look down there, make sure you centre. Also, pop the shaft in, hold it where it looks pretty much horizontal, and if that pushes in, like that, you're going to be pretty central. So tighten these round and go opposite one another. Not all the way, because as you start tightening down, you'll see these fingers start to go in. So do it evenly, so a few turns there. And just work your way around, not all the way up though. And nip them down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 'Good. And then tighten them to factory spec. Stop the flywheel moving. Tighten them so your ratchet is always going across the plate. Otherwise, if you do it here like that, you start turning the engine. 1, 2, 3. Right, gearbox back in time. Shuffle it around. There we go. Got some traps at the top. Looks like we're going to do the gear change cables. bolt. Good. There, everything free up there. Yeah. You have to be so careful you don't trap any wiring or pipe work at the top. It's easily done. The other bolt that I've left hanging in there at the back, that's screwing in a treat. Take the weight. Good. Right, bang the others back in. Right, so where I'm at now is gearbox bolted back in. It's up there, mounted up there. This is doing nothing now, so it's mounted up there. What I like to do next, before I haven't even bolted the starter up or put other things where they should be just yet. What I want to do first of all, I like to, before I get too far, is get the hydraulics connected, so that that's why I've got it back up on the mountain, so I'm not straining the lines. Get the hydraulics connected, and make sure that I get a pedal bleeding if necessary before we go too far. Otherwise you can put it all back together, get the battery in, get inside, you can't get a pedal, you need to bleed it, you've got a problem, and it's all got to come off again. So at this stage I like to see if I can get a pedal. So, took the bung out, we've got a clip in there, lubricated the end seal here. This should just pop straight in there. Click, like so. Now I'm hoping, because I clamped the pipe, I've got limited bleeding to do, so we'll undo this pipe. Undo the clamp rather, sorry. Let's see what we've got. So there's nothing there, so we're going to need to do a little bleedy bleed. Right, sorry if you can hear the noise outside. The council are cutting the grass for some reason in this weather, never mind. Right, to bleed these, hold it there with the 17mm spanner and crack undone the 11mm bleed nipple, and you've got to back bleed these with a pump. So basically this is my Mitivac, I've got it set on pump, and we've got to put in about 80mm, 100mm. Empty out your reservoir, not all the way, take some out of your reservoir first of all. Let's get the air out of this. That's it, we appear to have a clutch pedal. I did make a bit of a mess though. All can be cleaned up. Good, now we've got a clutch pedal, which I'm really pleased about. I can start putting the things back together. Brackets, start motor bolts on with the brackets there for the wiring, etc, etc. then I'm going to go up in the air, we'll get the box on, the gear change cables, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up on the top here. So I can get rid of this for now because we don't need that any longer. Sweet. Right, everything is back together. The right-hand drive shaft and everything is all back together. The oil is in the gearbox, etc, etc. What else have I done? It's back together. Just wanted to tell you about these bolts for the drive shaft. Drive shaft bolts. Knit them up. Torque for them is 45 Newton meters and then 90 degrees. So there's the 45, 90 degrees, quarter of a turn. And that's it. Do the same on the other side, tighten your wheel nuts up to factory spec. Then we put the rest of the top back together. So, back on the top, we're all done. Cables are all back on, they're in their brackets, secured where they should be. Got to put the battery box back in. Ground wires back on there and on there. These, so flip this battery box back round. Easy, simple, done. There we go. 3 10mm bolts. Battery. Negative at the back. Fits in there, like that. Positive on first. Keeping the earth off it so we don't make any unnecessary sparks. We'll have to feed that under this top hose. I do remember. Like so. Okay, the inlet. And get it in. Good. That pushes onto there. Sweet. Now for the inlet up. Okay, let's go for a little roadie test. A lovely light pedal now. Pump the brake out as well if you've been pulling on the discs like I was to turn the steering. Click a seatbelt in so it doesn't shout at us. First gear, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse. Oh, that's lovely. Ford main dealer. Right, here we go. Let's do the same test as this morning. Stop on the slope, pull away. First, oh yes, second. That's better. That's better. Foggy, better have some lights on I suppose. New Amazon building. fulfillment. That's that sorted. Happy with that on road test. By no way was that a step-by-step guide of how to do a clutch on your Focus. It was more of your information, what was involved, what's involved when we do it. Anyway, I hope it was useful to somebody. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Connect to me on Facebook and Twitter and on Google+. Thanks for watching.